Hello and welcome to another video from Sustenance and Cover, the only YouTube channel you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today's video is going to be a response to a video I saw a couple days ago entitled You Have Until July 15th at the Latest. In this video, a man named Michael Rupert explains how the quarterly earnings reports will be read, and then everybody in the world will know that the U.S. economy not only is not recovering, but is actually failing and cannot recover. At this time, the world as we know it will change forever. Well, I don't have any problem with anything that the man's talking about, because as far as I know, every word the man says is absolutely true. However, something that's being left out here is the human factor. Human perception is what will determine whether or not the empire collapses. Don't matter how much it's failed, the numbers don't mean a thing. As long as somebody puts their faith in the system to recover, they'll just keep on going about their business like nothing's wrong. And until that changes, the system, the empire itself, will not collapse. Now, if you go around telling people that the empire is going to collapse on July 15th and nothing happens, people are going to say you're Cryin Wolf. Already, you know you don't have credibility just because you believe that the system is going to fail. But if you put a date on it and it don't fail, then you're really going to have some credibility problems. So you don't want to be accused of Cryin Wolf. And I'm going to explain to you, I got here just a few events on this piece of paper that have come and gone, where the entire world system of money should have collapsed on that day, but it didn't. First off, somewhere around 1800, it was announced that the United States had a debt, national debt. Very first time that was ever mentioned. Anybody alive at that time would have known that that was a lie. The world empire cannot have a debt. Who would they have a debt to? World empires have bills. They can choose to pay them or choose not to pay them. But if they want to pay them, all they got to do is print money. Ain't no big deal. Ain't nobody going to question it. Business as usual for them kind of organizations. Been going on for centuries. It'll keep on going on as long as they have a world empire. And in fact, the proof is in the next day. What happened? Everybody went to work like nothing was wrong. You would think somebody would have questioned that. Alright, then 100 years later, around 1913, this is when the Federal Reserve was established. The Federal Reserve is a corporation. In 1913, it was given jurisdiction over all of the wealth of the United States. This organization, the Federal Reserve, is run by the most wicked, greedy humans to ever walk on the face of the earth. Now, if that wasn't reason enough for the system to collapse, I don't know what is. But you know what? The next day, everybody went to work like nothing was wrong. So the system didn't collapse. Would have been stupid to say it was going to collapse then, because you've been proven wrong. And look, it's been 100 years and still ain't collapsed. 1929, the stock market crash. Now, the stock market crash itself probably wouldn't be enough reason for a collapse. But the fact is, that organization was said by the government to be there as a tool to make sure that the economy stayed stable. That was the tool the government used to stabilize the economy. When the stock market crashed, not only did it bust that bubble, but it showed what the stock market really was. An organization to control money in such a way that the poor can never have any of it and the rich get to keep all of it. That's all it does. And everybody knew it. And yet the next day, everybody went back to work. Unless, of course, they lost their job because of the stock market crash. And you know what those folks did? They spent the next 6 years walking around the earth looking for work. So they still even had in their mind that somehow things would work out. Don't ask me why. 2001, World Trade Center, September 11th. The attacks of September 11th themselves should have destabilized the country enough to cause a collapse, and it didn't. But if that wasn't enough, when the 9/11 Commission report came out, that should have caused a collapse for sure, because everybody who read it, who had any sense, recognized that it was nothing but lies. And just shortly after it was released, the people who wrote it came out and said it was nothing but lies. You can go to YouTube or Google and just type in 9/11 Commission lies, and videos and documents and everything else will come up showing that it was all lies. I'm not here to tell you what happened at September 11th or who was responsible. All I'm telling you is the 9/11 Commission report is all lies. Everybody knows it's lies. And yet people keep on going to work like ain't nothing wrong. So, do I think that the quarterly earnings report coming out on July 15th is going to cause a collapse? You know, if it does, it'll be kind of shocking, because if all this stuff couldn't cause a collapse, I don't understand how that could cause a collapse. You know, when I started this, I said that putting out dates, and if dates come and go with nothing happening, and people accuse you of Cryin Wolf, the fact is a lot of us are going to go ahead and put out dates, and we're going to be accused of Cryin Wolf. But if you remember from the original story, at the end, the boy did get ate by a wolf. And the same thing with the collapse. No matter how many times we talk about it, no matter how many situations we think are going to bring it about, eventually it is going to come. And in fact, if you've heard me talk before, you know that it's just a fact to me. As far as I'm concerned, back in 1800 when they said there was a national debt, the collapse happened then. But the fact that we have to wait until human perception catches up with the facts means that it's still in the future. But it is coming, and it's going to be coming soon. If you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.